We are on our way to Nairobi, Kenya. We're just outside of Morogoro, and this is the second time that we've made this trip. It's a long drive. We're taking the car, and Emily's driving right now. And it's probably about 8 or 9 hours to Arusha, where we're going to spend the night, and then tomorrow we'll finish the rest of the drive to Nairobi, which should be another 5 or 6 hours. And we're going to Nairobi because why?
I'm taking a conference on child safety.
Child safety?
Child safety.
All right. Back here is Miles. Hey, say hello to everyone. Okay, that's all he has to say. This is the longest car trip that Miles has been on so far, so we'll see how he does. And that's it. We'll be checking in throughout the week. We're going to be there for 1 week, and then we'll come back. So that's what we're up to. We made it to Nairobi. The trip up from Morogoro was really great. It was a really beautiful drive. That part of the country, it starts out with just a lot of really beautiful green rolling hills. And then as you get further north, it gets more mountainous, and the scenery is really beautiful all the way up to Moshi, which is at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro. So we drove by Kilimanjaro, and as usual, the peak was cloud covered, so we couldn't see the snowy peak of Kilimanjaro. But Mount Kilimanjaro is a really wide mountain, and so it's not as dramatic as you might imagine the tallest freestanding mountain in the world being. And then we spent the night in Arusha at a hotel there. The next morning got up and finished our drive. Made it to Nairobi all the way, 99% of the way to our destination. And just as we were literally outside of the town of the place we were staying, we are 10 minutes from the destination in Kenya, and flat tire. Not only a flat tire, bent rim from an unavoidable pothole in the road. I won't say who was driving the car at the time, but
I already admitted to it.
So we got slightly delayed, but it wasn't a big deal. We put our spare on and made it here to Brackenhurst.
So the conference that I'm here attending is put on by the Child Safety and Protection Network, an organization put together to make sure that our children are being protected in all of the mission agencies. And it really was encouraging for me to hear all of these things and be here, just to know that our mission organization, Pioneer Bible Translators, takes children's safety very, very seriously. So I'm here to become a trained investigative team member. If there was ever a case of abuse reported in our team or in the surrounding organizations in Africa, I could be called to be a part of the investigation of that. It was extremely draining for me emotionally. Child safety, or child abuse in particular, is a very hard topic to talk about. And I love children, and it's very difficult for me to hear about people being abused. And we had a couple of first-hand accounts. We had listened to a few things that it was very hard, very emotionally draining. So it was very difficult, but at the same time, it was very encouraging to know that these mission organizations are coming together to protect our children and have a very specific and way to take care of a time or a case if there should be any child abuse or report of anything. So as the new member care facilitator in our branch, in our team, this was a very natural thing for me to attend, for me to learn. I'll be able to take these principles that I've learned and the policies from the Protection Network to be able to apply that into our team. So overall, the conference was great. I loved it. I was really thankful to be here. I'm also really thankful because Chris came with me, and he was able to take care of Miles the whole time. And it was really nice to know that my baby was being taken care of in such good hands.
I was able to get the tire repaired, the flat tire that we got on the way here. But after that I had to go buy diapers, and as I went downtown to buy diapers, I heard this terrible sound coming from the engine of our car. There was definitely a knocking that could be an indication of like a really bad problem inside the engine. And after two mechanics looking at the car and checking out the problem, they were both stumped. They basically didn't give us any good options except to replace the engine, which is not something we want to do, especially here in Kenya. And so I test drove the car for like 2 hours yesterday, stress tested, made sure that the engine wasn't just about to blow up, and it ran fine. So we are heading back with a little bit of, I think, a little bit of nervousness, hoping that there won't be any problems with the car on the return trip. Well, we made it home after 2 days of travel. It was somehow, thankfully, completely uneventful. All of the concerns about the car, engine, and everything were really, after a lot of prayer, we had a lot of people praying for us. We had no problems at all with the car on the way home. Miles did great. Really a great week overall, you think?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So that was our adventure in Nairobi.